everybody, and welcome back to our deck tech video. These are the Arla and Brunhild decks that you just saw, hopefully. But if you're not, go and check out that video to see some awesome OTK versus crazy mill battles.
Mill badness.
Mill badness. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how this deck works. Now, the ruler is one of the worst rulers in the entire game. He's only viable for this, and the rest of his rulers are also
show the other side.
on his level. They all have this same side that is a nothing side that judgments for 4. The potential can turn into one of 5, but as stated, he's the only good one. What he does is, as you may have seen, but when he enters your field, if you control one of his stones, which is the First Flight's Memoria, he will recover, he gets a stone, first of all, from the top of your deck into your stone area. Then he recovers all your magic stones, and then he draws you a card. If you have all 4 First Flight's Memoria, he draws 3 cards instead of just 1. And then he has, whenever a resonator you control attacks, recover target magic stone you control. So you can play a lot off of him just based on his sheer ability to have all your little Tamas, all your Sacred Elves, all your little Lorites. All of them becomes a +1 on your stones. Now, the real combo with that is the Gruus Ballesta's secret technique, which I'd like to go over before I show off the rest of the deck. It is a 1 darkness, 1 green, quick cast, target magic stone becomes a 1000/1000 resonator with swiftness until end of turn. It's still a magic stone. So, you turn a magic stone, in this case speaking stone because it has natural barrier, into a 1000/1000 resonator. Then, because it's both a resonator and a magic stone, when it attacks, it will recover target magic stone and can target itself. So, you get an infinite amount of swings until this either dies or until your opponent is dead. So if you resolve this and your opponent has no answers for the stone resonator, they lose. That's why it's OTK. Because you don't do anything until then. The rest of the deck consists of a basic green-black lineup, Sacred Elves for ramp, Melfi as well as ramp. Melfi I've been running a lot more lately just because of her enter ability. Prevent all damage that would be dealt by target J resonator.
It's a torrent, kind of. Well,
yeah.
It's not actual torrent, it's just similar.
You have to play 2 spells, but I like her for that. Also, the quick cast having a mana dork, fantastic.
She's very good.
Tamas, obviously green, you're running Tamas. Lorite, I do not ever want anything to interfere with Arla's enter, so I want to be able to Lorite their Lorites. Simple. Keen Sense, also for anti-cancel. Nothing in here is, between the Lorites and the Keen Sense, they're not really aggressive cancels. They're more of to defend my Gruus Ballesta's secret technique, because that's my only, serious win con.
It's a combo deck, so.
Yeah. Then Ruin Story, all the options are just super useful. Your opponent banishes a resonator, or put a resonator from your graveyard into your field, or cancel a spell unless your opponent pays 1.
You can play really easy with Speaking Stone.
Yeah, the main reason I run it is because it's such a big utility, and Speaking Stone produces a green or black, but the black can only be used to play stories, and Ruin Story is a story. So it's a lot easier to play than having to filter out my will with the First Flight's Memoria and that sort of thing, but I'll show you those in a little bit. Other than that, it's one of the most versatile cancels / recursion / aggressive. It's amazing. Then I'm running, of course, the 4 Gruus Ballesta's secret technique. 2 rewriting laws. This was originally 4. However, I decided to cut it back because it really wasn't doing anything, and it was really, really vulnerable for cancels. But it has Magic Stone you control, gain, produce any color until end of turn, recover up to 2 target magic stones you control, draw a card. It recovers the same amount of stones that it rests, so it's pretty much a free draw and makes all your stones produce any color, so you can cast stuff like Ruin Story or the secret technique easier without having to do any weird filter nonsense. And getting the free card is more useful than you'd think. I also run 2 Stunning to Death. Not 4, because it's incredibly hard to cast these. Usually they're going to cost you 4, because you're going to have to filter out for the black, unless you have Melfis or that sort of thing. Then I have 4 Blessing of Yggdrasils, because if I don't hit my at least 1 Speaking Stone and at least 1 First Flight's Memoria, I will be dead in the water. And if I don't hit those early, it's a bad time.
It's very unlikely.
Yeah, it's unlikely. However, I've had experiences where that's happened, and I didn't want that at all. But yeah, it's just search your Magic Stone for Magic Stone deck for a card and put it into your Magic Stone area rested, then shuffle your Magic Stone area. Easy. All right, final battle. It's a darkness card. It wipes the field just in case weenies start overrunning me. That's the only reason for that. Also, in case I'm tapped out and I'm on my last leg, I can put one last-ditch effort in. Then that's it. Protective Barrier. This goes into the Gruus Ballista Secret Technique combo. It prevents all damage that would be dealt to target Resonator until end of turn. Because it's only a 1000/1000 Resonator, if they have a 1000/1000 or even like a bunch of chump blocks, it can die. And if it dies, your combo is it's done with.
Yeah, you just lose.
You've lost a stone, you've lost a turn, you've lost your flip, you're now on the back foot, and it's just... So yeah, Protective Barrier helps.
You should go over how that works.
Well, yeah.
That's Filter Stone.
Yeah. The stones, obviously speaking stone, I went over that one. 2 Gusting Skies because white for the Protective Barriers. But the first flight's Memoria, that's Arla Stone. It produces a green, or you can pay a green and rest it to produce any color. The Filter Stone effect is pretty strong, however, because of normally, like in Magic, a card like this is really usable in every deck ever, but because of how Force of Will works and how it's faster than Magic, this is really not good to use. Like, because say I wanted to play a Keen set, suddenly that would be 3 will. That's probably all your stones in the early game, or it would be so many stones that you're going to have no other recourse. So, as cool as it looks, outside this deck, I would caution against it. Aside from that, it's standard OTK. You resolve your thing and you win. If you don't resolve it, you lose.
How come you're not running Final Breeze?
Final Breeze?
Because if you can make it so I can't play cards on your turn.
Yeah, I'm not running that because I didn't think of it.
Oh.
That's exactly why.
Fair enough.
Oops.
That's fine.
I usually don't think of things like that, but if you want to build this deck yourself, remember that Final Breeze. it's a bonus. Looking at from playing it, I think any edits I make would be minimal. Maybe like 1 less Final Battle or the addition of Final Breeze.
Yeah.
But if you have another Arla deck that's updated for the newer cards, I would love to see it. But let's hear about this other deck.
All right, so I'm gonna start off by saying this deck is not very good. It's kind of like I've always wanted to mill somebody in Force of Will, so that's all this deck is. I want to try to get the combo going off, which is, I'll just go over that now. So what this deck wants to do is have the Jin and the 2 Rachels, right? So what Jin does, he says, remove up to 3 target Resonators you control from the game. At the end of turn, put all Resonators removed this way into the owner's field. So what you do is you play a Jin, you target himself and 2 Rachels, and they both blink out. And at the end of your turn, they'll come back. You'll mill 6 cards from your opponent, and then they'll blink out again because of his effect. And then on your opponent's next end of turn, they'll come back, and then every turn you're going to get 6 cards. So
not to mention you're pulling 2 cards from your deck each time that happens.
Yeah, so I just thought that would be really fun if I could pull it off. Unfortunately, going against this deck, I just had to hold up cancels the entire game.
Yeah, it's just that type of deck.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go over everything else about this deck. So it runs 4 Gretel, and that combos with Planting Beans. If you had saw the match video, you would have seen me doing that. So Gretel's good because when she comes into play, reveal top card Magic Stone deck. If it's a Wind Magic Stone, put it in play. They're all Wind Magic Stones.
It's the newest in a series of things I call forbidden techniques because they're so ridiculous, they're forbidden.
So the Planting Beans combo is really good because you can pay 1, search your deck for a Gretel and put it into your graveyard, and then from your rune deck, you can use, how do you pronounce it? Ellenhars?
Let me see.
Yeah, I know.
Ellenhars. Summons, I think.
I'll just call it summons.
Yeah.
You play summons, and you can get a human with total cost 2 or less from your graveyard and field. Gretel's a human.
Oh my.
Bam. Consistent ramp.
It's forbidden.
This was this combo's so good that I actually took out Elvish Priest because he was originally in this other versions of this deck, similar deck, not this particular one. And it's also really good if you're going second because you can Gretel and then get a stone. And then from that stone, you can planting beans and then do the combo to get another Gretel.
It's too strong. We need Severing Winds back.
No, never. All right, so moving on from that, we run 4 Tama, because Tama.
Yep.
3 Lorite. I believe there's 1 in the sideboard, but we're not going to show that off because you have to tailor that to what's going on in your local.
We could show you whatever sideboard we're using, but that is not. It's going to have 0 relevance for you.
And we didn't use it in the match either because he didn't build one for this deck. So
yeah, there's really no sideboard you can do.
Yeah. Anyway, so 3 Lorite because Lorite's good.
Yep.
And then we run 3 Lorites, 7 Disciples.
The Lorite Engine,
yeah,
as it has been called.
Yeah, this is a very good combo because Lorite 7 Disciples, if you control a Lorite, he just gets nuts. So if you don't know what he does, it says when this card enters the field or at the beginning of your main phase, this card gains +200/+200, swiftness, flying, first strike, precision, drain, or barrier until end of turn. If you control Lorite 7 Luminaries Astrologian, it gains all those abilities instead. So,
the reason it's called the Lorite Engine is because you play a Lorite and then you throw a train at your opponent's face.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. Alright, so moving on from that, we have Rachel and Jin. I didn't actually say what Rachel did, so if you don't know what Rachel does, when this card enters the field, look at the top 3 cards of target player's deck. Put any number of them in their owner's graveyard, and the rest on top of their owner's deck in any order. So you can either get rid of all 3, put 1 there, put 2 there, whatever. I think it was intended for Gil to use on your own deck, but everyone chooses on the opponent's deck, because why wouldn't you? And then she also has another ability. When this card leaves the field, search your deck for a card and put it into your hand, then shelf your deck.
It's so ridiculous because she gives you so much value.
Yeah, she's a very good card. So anyway, I talked about Jin and that combo, so let's move on to Frigg. I run 2 of her because you can start Frigg looping, get your cancels.
Friggin' Frigg.
Let's see what she does is when this card enters the field, put up to 1 target Resonator, up to 1 target Addition, and up to 1 target Chant from your graveyard into your hand. So that's really good. You can get your Additions, your Guys, your Chants, and what you can end up doing is if you have 2 Friggs and 1, so you play 1, you get your stuff back, and then let's say you have your Frigg that's on the field dies. You can then play your other Frigg in your hand, get the Frigg that died back, and then you can just keep looping them forever. So that's fun.
Friggin' forever.
Yeah. Alright, so I should mention too, one of the reasons she's in here, besides just being good, is this used to be a Spinning Myths deck, and I was going to play that against this deck, but then Kevin's like, yeah, don't do that because he'll just lose.
Yeah, because his Spinning Myths deck, turn 2 drops a Susanoo, and I lose.
So... Alright, let's move on to Kuguyu's Moonbeam Butterfly. This card's very good. Search your deck for a Resonator or Addition with total cost X plus 1 or less and put it into your field. Then shuffle your deck. So essentially what this does is I can get any Addition or Resonator from my deck by paying 1 extra for it. And the best part is it doesn't have to be in my hand. It's just in my deck. Really good.
Yep.
The only Addition in here I could search for is Book of Ibon. So I'll just go over that now. What this card does is when this card enters your field, put target Resonator from a graveyard into your field. When this card leaves your field, banish the Resonator put into your field by this card. So it's really good. If you noticed, it says a graveyard, not your graveyard. So you can reanimate something from your opponent's graveyard if that's something you want to do. But it's just a really good reanimator spell. Even if you just play it from your hand for 3, it's a 3-cost reanimator.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. The only downside is it's the Resonator is tied to this Addition, so if they blow up an Addition, then they kill your Resonator. But Addition destruction is not super common, so it's not something you need to worry about too much.
I would also like to point out that Jin doesn't care about that. Specifically him, because if Jin leaves the field or any Resonator that is on leaves the field via Jin, it's no longer tied to Book of Ibon.
Yep. So you don't have to worry about that.
Sneaky.
Alright, then we have a Final Battle. It's good for the same reasons Kevin said.
Yep.
It's just a one-sided board wipe. Then we have Zeke's The Ancient Magic. Very, very good card.
Wall of text.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read all of it. Choose one. If your J ruler is Crimson Girl in the Sky or Little Red, the True Fairy Tale, choose up to 4. We're not running Little Red, the True Fairy Tale, or any of that, so we don't get choose 4. Target Resonator cannot be targeted by spells or abilities until end of turn. So that's better than Barrier, super Barrier. Or cancel target summon spell, aka read Resonator, basically.
Yeah.
So Or resonators you control gain +2/+2 until end of turn. Or target player shuffles all magic stones from his or her graveyard into his or her magic stone deck, then shuffles all other cards from his or her graveyard into his or her main deck. So it basically does what Horn of the Sacred Beast did, but for a cost.
Yeah.
So anyway, it does a lot of stuff. It's a very good card.
Canceling a resonator is ridiculous with it.
Yeah, too bad your deck this isn't that good against this particular deck.
Yeah, that's okay.
Alright, then I run 4 Seal of Wind and Light because it's...
Hands down, best cancel spell in the entire game.
Yeah, this is the promo version with the best start.
Fucking festivals.
It just cancels target spell for a light and a wind. It's really good. It also has an Awakening where you can pay a moon and players can't chase this card. I unfortunately don't have any moon to pay for that, but it's really good if you do.
If you have moon, it goes from really strong to devastating against combo decks because you just pick out their combo piece and cancel it, and there's nothing they can do about it.
All right, and then the last spell on the deck is a well, I guess we have the runes. We'll go over those in a second. Is a Reanimator spell. It's called Genesis Creation. It costs 2 light and 2 of any color. 4 cost, pretty standard for a Reanimator spell. But this one has an extra bonus because it says put up to 1 target addition field and up to 1 target resonator from your graveyard into your field. Put up to 1 target magic stone from your graveyard into your magic stone area. Oh, it also does magic stones. Huh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is really good because you can actually combo that with Book of Ibon.
Yeah.
If it gets destroyed somehow.
I didn't know about the magic stone part, so you can even combo it with Spirit Stone.
Yeah. So it's a very, very good card. I like it. It's good because I put it in there because you can planting beans into like a djinn and then just reanimate the djinn if you don't have one in your hand and you need it.
Yep.
Or a Rachel or 7 Disciples or whatever.
Yep.
It's pretty good. All right, let's move on to the stone base. Pretty easy. It's 4 Black Silence, so you can produce wind or darkness. 4 Gusting Skies, so you can produce light or wind. And then 2 Spirit Stones because Spirit Stone.
Yeah.
You can banish it to draw a card.
If you have a slot, Spirit Stone is always a good option.
Alright, now here's the rune deck. Pretty basic. I can actually cast everything in my rune deck because of the Divinity.
Yeah.
So I have 1 Spear of the Valkyries because it's pretty good. I'm always controlling a Valkyrie, so what it does is this card deals damage equal to the highest attack among J Resonators you control to target J Resonator. If you control a Valkyrie, you gain that much life. So it's like a kill spell. Oh yeah, also you have to pay 2 more if you play from Rune Area, so it's like a 4 cost kill spell.
I was really sad when you played that.
Until J Ruler.
Mainly because I had a Melfi in hand, and I was like, okay, I have a spell that I can play, and then I have the Melfi, but the chant deals the damage, not the Resonator.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So
or
sad.
Fortunately for me.
Oh my god.
And then I run Odin's Judgment because it's her Master Rune. It's a board wipe. It destroys all Resonators for 3 will. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Never really needed or wanted to use it in our games, but it's there. And then I have Song of the Fairies. It's a cancel spell. It's costs 2 green and 1, and it says you pay 1 more to play this card from a rune area. 4 cost cancel spell. Basically how much Severing Winds costs hard cast. And just cancel target spell. So that's pretty good because you always have it.
Yes.
Then I play 1 Whispers of an Angel. This is a pretty good card. It's a quick cast. It costs 1 light and 2, but not really. Because it says you may pay 2 void less to play this card from a rune area. So it costs 1 white. And then you gain 800 life and draw a card. Really good.
It's ridiculous.
Alright, and then the last one is that summons card. I've already gone over this.
So
there we go. That's those are the decks. Tell us what you think of them in the comments. Maybe try running these at your locals if they look fun. And we'll see you next time.
Yep, we'll see you in the next video.
Woo.
Goodbye!